Hello and welcome to Dongamet channel. The story so far here is that I have this sword, the Wyvern, and the handle was very thin and was giving me a lot of shock. And having removed the scales, we discovered that this is what Joe X very poetically refers to as a shit tang. Not a full tang, shit tang. Thoroughly quote-unquote skeletonized. You know, if you want weight reduction on your tang, you got to man up and grind that tang and taper it. And if you're really smart, you taper it two ways. But, if you're a button pusher and you don't know how to make it and you just CNC, then you just go, well, whatever. I love this thing. I think it's great. And I don't think that this should be too much of a problem for me. I do think it's a design flaw. But what I'm going to do is actually make some pieces of rock maple that fit in there like jigsaw pieces. And so they will fill the void. Well, I'll make them a little rough so that there's epoxy to also fill the voids there. And they will absorb vibration and impact and make the whole thing more robust, as of course will this. Once this is actually mechanically bonded to the tang with epoxy, and then I think I'm going to pin it properly with like Corby bolts or Loveless bolts or something, then it won't really make such a difference that it's skeletonized, because this has excellent tensile strength, and that's what you're losing here. Well, you're losing all kinds of strength with that, but tensile would be the important one, I would have thought, more than compressive, unless you're doing something funny with it, which you might in the heat of the moment. So, I recently showed this Gerber mini cleaver with a little bit of edge damage that I did to it on camera. Well, I thought maybe I could just use this edge to gradually, cut a little bit and then sharpen a little bit and then cut a little bit and actually, I was going to say nothing doing, but maybe, I think you would make it through before you made it through, sharpened your way through the knife. But anyway, I mean, it was going so slowly, I went in on a corner there, and that's what happened. So 3CR versus, I think it's called some kind of storm Kevlar. The Kevlar is winning, right? And the reason why I'm cutting this with a knife at all is because otherwise it will not give enough, right? If I line this up all perfectly, there's a hair of a gap in the middle here. And by cutting this with a knife, yes, I will be losing, hundredths of an inch or maybe thousandths of an inch. But once I soak it in epoxy, all those frayed ends, they'll swell up again. And I might even be gaining. So this is one of my Sandrin Tungsten Carbide bladed knives. Magnificent tools. I think that anyone who's still spending big money on steel when they've got a lot of steel already, who isn't getting one of these, is maybe a little silly. This one's dirty, but very effective. It's the slip joint version. It wasn't proving comfortable to because I've been here. I must have done this maybe 100 times already now. Right? It's easier when I got the other hand to rest on the bench, but just got to dig it in there and then work my way along, right? So yeah, I thought I would share that. So yeah, I got some of this tape, this medical tape stuff. What's it called? Self-stick tape. Half a roll of that. Comfy as you like. It's interesting that I always considered the reverse grip to be, not a practical user crafty grip, but and probably much less the so-called Pical, which P. Carl is for inflicting violence, right? But Micarta grip seems to work very well here. Like I say, usually I can rest my other arm on the bench here, and you know, and so I'm obviously, it's because I'm just, especially to start out, was just tracing the line. You can't just go all in one, so I go crick, 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 and I'll try and not do the same every time. So if I made a stop one time, then the next time I'm cutting over it, kind of chaotically. But I'm making good progress. I'd say we're about halfway through now. And yeah, that's really all I had to say about that, I guess. Thanks for watching.